So when we consider e-commerce in the BI market, it's important to recognize the various types of platforms at a company's disposal. Each of these types of platforms require consideration in the e-commerce strategy, and in terms of your BI strategy, each will present different opportunities to collect data and drive insights. For now, we're going to discuss the platform really synonymous with e-commerce, Amazon. So Amazon is the leading online retailer, and Fortune cites that Amazon could account for nearly half of all U.S. e-commerce sales by 2021. So mastering Amazon's market should be a key success criteria for any company committed to e-commerce. But Amazon is also one of many online retail platforms. Further, Amazon or any of these online places, there are a variety of considerations when managing the familiar marketing foundations of placement, price, and promotion. And it's importantly not one size fits all. Let's take placement, for example. In the e-commerce space, a product's placement is not only going to be its positioning on the retailer website, but also its relevance in key search terms or brand keywords. Various retailers, like Amazon, may provide different buyability scores based on various metrics. These scores will dictate how a product will appear to the consumer on the digital shelf. And companies like Clavis or Profitero offer platforms for managing content on an online retailer's website and metrics for analyzing these key considerations. And interestingly, Clavis and Profitero have both recently partnered with some of the leading point-of-sale data providers in IRI and Nielsen, respectively, which is really further solidifying their relevance in CPG as well as the digital commerce space. Next, if we consider price and promotion and platforms like PriceSpider or Bazaar Voice, we see a variety of platforms offering ways to monitor and enforce price guidelines across retailers and drive consumer reviews and ratings. In terms of price guidelines, it's important, given the variety of platforms, that the platforms from which you sell your goods don't undermine or cannibalize each other based on not adhering to the price guidelines that you've set. And in terms of consumer sentiment, given the variety of online retailers and the publicity of people's comments and sentiment towards your product, managing these drivers is ever more critical. In addition, platforms like Slice will allow you to assess your own sales trends as well as assess competitor trends similar to Nielsen panel data. Considering these platforms and metrics, we can begin to draw out some commonalities across these different offerings, which will help us shape the considerations when organizing ourselves around e-commerce. The first of these considerations I want to raise is the number of evolving and new metrics. So as we noted with the advent of e-commerce, we have a number of new factors to consider that will impact your sales and marketing. Metrics like consumer sentiment, conversion rates, cart abandonment rates, and retention rates all require new ways of thinking. Further, as technology advances, metrics will continue to evolve. So having a strategy that accounts for this change will ensure that you can adapt as new approaches become relevant. Next, we must consider the variety and volume of data. With the ability to track logins, profiles, user sessions, conversions, abandoned carts, there are really numerous ways in which a potential consumer can interact with your product and platform on the internet. The potential volume of data is massive, and of course the variety is also vast. So considering how structured data like sales and orders coexist with potentially unstructured data like customer service calls or customer service chats or product sentiment is a key consideration in this space. And lastly, we have software and data as a service. I mentioned a number of platforms that offer both data and analytics around e-commerce. And these typically cloud-based service providers are causing companies to consider, first and foremost, where they store their data. In addition to my previous point, we're dealing with potentially massive volumes of data. So there are a number of questions that might come up that make you want to consider how you might integrate cloud into your approach, such as, does it make sense to store this information at a lower cost in the cloud given the volume? Do I need to integrate this data with on-prem data sources, and how does that affect my strategy? How might I scale out my data storage as we introduce new data sources as the market continues to evolve? All of these are important questions warranting close consideration of what the cloud provides.